Well, hello, and welcome to my channel, Laura's Lupus. And hi, my name is Laura, and I came to talk to you today about lupus, dry skin, and rashes. How many of you, as lupus survivors, are dealing with dry skin and rashes? I know right now with this pandemic, we're required to wash our hands so much and to use hand sanitizers that require 70% alcohol. It's wreaking havoc on our hands. And so, if you're dealing with dry skin and rashes at this time, or maybe if you've had lupus for a while, maybe you've always dealt with dry skin and rashes. So, let's talk about that today. Well, first of all, let's talk about the skin. Our skin is the largest organ. It is the first thing that people see when they meet us. It draws a lot of attention, sometimes too much attention. And for most of us, who doesn't want to have beautiful, glowing skin that when we present ourselves to the world, our skin is beautiful, flawless, and glowing? Well, for any of us that are dealing with lupus, sometimes the skin is not always beautiful and glowing. Sometimes the skin is dry, itchy, and it has rashes. Well, one of the first signs that doctors look for when diagnosing lupus, one of the telltale signs of lupus, um, is the malar rash, the butterfly rash that occurs on the face. Not everyone that was diagnosed with lupus has the butterfly rash, but lupus attacks the organs of the body, and our skin is an organ. It is one of the largest organs. It is our first line of defense against germs, viruses, and bacterias. And so we want to keep our skin healthy, and we don't want it to be in a vulnerable state. Or if it becomes vulnerable, we don't want it to stay vulnerable too long. And so, because the skin is an organ, yes, lupus can manifest itself in the skin. And so you may ask, well, Laura, how does it manifest itself in the skin? It can manifest itself in the skin in so many different ways. And this sun is really, it's coming in through my window really bright. But anyway, we're going to continue with this video. Well, how does it manifest itself in the skin? It manifests itself in the forms of skin conditions such as eczema, psoriasis, dermatitis, all different types of dermatitis. The two main ones are contact dermatitis and allergic dermatitis. It can manifest itself in the form of bumpy skin, itchy, dry skin, tight skin, heat rashes, boils, lesions, blisters, you know. And then last but not least, it can manifest itself in the form of dry, cracked skin. And that's when you know you're getting over into the zone where, you need to contact your doctor. Because again, our skin is our first line of defense. And so when the skin is vulnerable, which means that it's exhibiting cracked, bleeding, oozing skin, it makes it vulnerable for things that shouldn't enter into the skin to get into the skin. And so we know that these viruses, germs, and bacteria, they're always with us and they're always looking for a host and they're always looking for a way to get into the host body. And so, just a warning, if you're dealing with dry, cracked, bleeding, oozing skin that no matter what you try, it's not healing up, then I recommend that you contact your doctor. Okay? Because you don't want to end up with a staph infection or a strep infection or impetigo. These are all infections of the skin. Lupus does not cause infections of the skin unless, the skin is made vulnerable and it's made vulnerable too long. Okay, so you may ask, well, then what can we do to protect our skin? There are so many different ways that you can protect your skin. There are so many different lotions and creams and soaps on the market that are fantastic. But even sometimes, with everything that you do, with all the lotions and the creams and the soaps, sometimes you still may need to give your doctor a call if your condition is not clearing up. I know for me, whenever I had an issue with dry, cracked, blistering, bleeding, oozing skin, um, and I gave my doctor a call, the first thing the doctor would place me on is a regimen of corticosteroids and steroids. The corticosteroids are creams, steroidal creams that you can apply to the skin. Nowadays, with the new medical updates, there are creams that you can apply to the skin that are not steroidal, but you would have to talk to your doctor. Everybody's skin is different, everybody's skin reacts different. So that would be a conversation that you would need to talk with your doctor. I've had eczema all of my life, and so I wasn't diagnosed with lupus until later on in life. And as a kid having eczema back in the day, we didn't have all the lotions and the creams available that are now available for us today. Back in the day, the doctor would tell me to take a bath with dial or ivory. And dial and ivory, yes, is antibacterial. It gets your skin squeaky clean, but it also gets it squeaky dry. And I can remember my most troublesome times as a kid with my eczema was at night. You know, my eczema would show up on the inside folds of my elbows, on the back of my knees, on my feet. There was at one point in my life where I had eczema all over my torso, all over my back. I thank God it never showed up in my face. Sometimes it would show up on the back of my neck. It never showed up on my hands. And as a kid growing up with eczema, having eczema all over your body, using dial soap, using ivory soap, um, your fellow classmates can be kind of cruel, especially during the summertime. I dreaded the summertime. During the wintertime, I could hide what my skin condition, which I think a lot of us who have lupus, whatever our skin conditions are, we try to hide it. During the wintertime, we can hide it with sweaters, long sleeves, coats, but during the summertime, it's the time when you want to expose a little bit of skin. You want to stay cool and dry and comfortable. And so what do? You put on tank tops, you put on shorts. Back in the day when I was a kid, they had something I'll call the halter. They had the tube top, that teenagers would wear. I couldn't wear those. I couldn't wear the tube top. My parents wouldn't let me, but my mom did allow me to wear the halter. And because I had eczema all over my back, all over my torso, all down the inner workings of my thighs, I couldn't hide my skin condition. And so I don't worry about it today. I take it with a grain of salt. It's something that I went through. But now, as an adult, I've learned that I need to show my skin some love. I need to show my skin some extra care, and that's in the form of trying different products. How many of you have tried different products for your skin? I know at one point I had a whole trash can full of products that I would buy that didn't work. They would end up in the trash, from the least expensive to the most expensive. And it just didn't work for my skin. Sometimes with the most expensive ones, it could have that one ingredient that my skin reacted to in an adverse way, and I would have to throw it out. In skin lotions and potions and creams and serums, they can range from $5 to $200. But I'm not here to tell you to go out and buy some sort of a $200 lotion or, cream or serum. Simple things that we can try that can give our skin some comfort, some relief, and help prevent our skin from being so vulnerable. With this pandemic, I'm quite sure even if you don't have a skin condition, that your hands are becoming vulnerable to dryness, itchiness, and rashes because we're required to wash our hands more than ever. We're required to apply hand sanitizer. And what does the hand sanitizer contain? 70% alcohol. And alcohol is what? Drying to the skin. Okay. And so, with all of this going on, we need to again, show ourselves, our skin, some love. and everything, because if our skin is going to protect us, we need to protect it. And there are several ways that you can protect your skin. There are several ways that you can help your skin along if you're experiencing a flare up from lupus that's causing dry skin and rashes. Again, as I stated before, if you're dealing with dry, cracked, oozing skin, you want to talk to your doctor because you don't want to end up with some sort of a skin infection, such as a staph infection, a strep infection on the skin, or even impetigo. These are all types of infections that can occur on the skin. It's not necessarily caused by lupus, but it is caused by the skin becoming vulnerable and not being able to allow to heal quick enough and properly in order to prevent these type of infections on the skin.